Hey, welcome back to Scorpion Insights. I'm Jamie Adams. Today I've got Brian Blades with me. Brian Blades, 23 years working with criminal defense attorneys here at Scorpion, advising them on their marketing strategies. Brian, I know one of the biggest things that we talk about with our customers and with prospects is, do I focus on SEO or do I focus on advertising?
Yeah. That's the $1 million question.
That's the $1 million question,
Yeah.
right? And there's so much bogus information out there. Like everybody's got an agenda, right? Like some companies are saying you should never do money in advertising. Nobody clicks on ads. It's like, well, that's not really true because Google's like worth trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they monetize through ads, right? Then you got other companies that say SEO is kind of a game that you're never going to win. You should just spend all your money in advertising, right? What's your response? What's the right strategy?
Yeah. I've heard everything about both sides of that argument. It's this all day long. But everything, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it really does come down to your personal situation. But if you're in a position where a lot of solo practitioners are, which is, again, the vast majority of criminal defense firms that I work with, they're looking to be able to generate business as quickly as possible. I mean, they want money in the door now. They don't really have a lot of time. So I tend to lean a little bit heavier towards advertising strategies. They have a proven track record. It's more quantifiable. It's well known. I can point to pretty much every market in the United States and have a success story to go with it when it comes to advertising. I've never really seen one just fall flat on its face. These things just flat out work.
Got it. Yeah.
So if I'm going to give you, an answer one way or the other, I'm going to tend to lean a little more towards advertising. That's not to say that you just have to go all in. As a matter of fact, I've got two big firms right now that I'm working with to try to help them wean themselves off of what essentially is a full nothing but advertising strategy.
So they're spending everything in advertising.
That's right. They're all in on just advertising.
Got it.
And you start showing them just how much they're missing in terms of the total marketplace that's available to them. It's really eye-opening. And then obviously there's some really difficulty around the fact that there's no equity involved with money being spent on ads. The money is spent, it's great. It's going to have a great ROI to it, but it doesn't have any kind of downstream effects.
Yeah, the minute you turn it off, right, you don't reap any more benefits from
Correct,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you've got to sort of balance this with what your goals are, short and long term.
Yeah, got it. So a couple things that I think are really, really new. One of the things that's new-ish to the criminal defense market from an advertising perspective are the Google guaranteed or the local service ads. What types of success are you seeing with firms that are taking advantage of that type of ad unit?
Yeah, certainly local service ads have been just absolutely gangbusters since really them coming into the marketplace just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Proud to say that Scorpion really helped bring those to market, beta testing with Google for quite some time, and really ushering into the space. So we have a lot of experience working with them. And the truth is they flat out work at this point. And as you probably have noticed, at least the results that Google's providing right now are leaning heavier towards LSA ads versus strictly pay-per-click ads. So I really do kind of prioritize that kind of direction to begin with. And then, of course, we've got to couple that with some of the best practices that go with what amounts to running great LSAs. And a lot of that starts with reviews and having positive reviews to go with it.
Right. Do you see, look, criminal defense, again, is a tricky market, right? Because you get a client, you do great work for them, maybe you keep them out of jail.
Yeah.
It's a tricky question to go, hey, by the way, can you go to my Google profile and write a review for me?
Yes.
It's like, that's tricky. How do you, because reviews are part of the LSA ecosystem, right? Like you're going to have a higher likelihood of getting your ad shown in the LSA area when you do have good reviews. So how do you talk with attorneys about making sure that they're incorporating some type of process around reviews into their practice?
Well, in our case, we really do have a great technology that enables us to be able to help them with that. So rather than having to do it ad hoc on this, on the fly, hey, if you got a moment, can you write a review? That's not a really regimented way of working with that into your practice. So having some technology to help you do that and make this a little more of a process that is done each and every month with your practice is something that's going to be incredibly helpful. So in our case, having a technology platform that sends out requests for people to be able to post reviews, that's something that's going to help and make sure it goes a long way.
Makes sense. Another kind of area that I just want to think about is going back to the SEO versus advertising component, right? So you mentioned that most attorneys that you work with in the criminal defense space, they're the solo guys or the solo women. They want cases like now, right? So you typically kind of advise them, hey, like let's over-index a little bit more in advertising. Can you maybe cite, though, an example or two, because you've been doing this for a really long time, of how you've maybe advised an attorney, spend money in advertising, but let's invest in your organic strategy as well, and kind of seen the benefit over time of what that's done to their practice?
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. So we've got a firm actually here in the LA area. He's got a great established practice. He's actually doing phenomenal with his advertising. He does great things there, but he didn't really realize how much more was available when it came to organic results. And we said, hey, we need to really start paying attention to, the opportunity to start getting better local listings in Google results and start expanding your reach to all the different, what amounts to long-tailed searches. So a lot of searches are not necessarily just a search for a criminal defense attorney. They're based on a specific statute, based on a specific courthouse, for example.
Yeah.
There's so much nuance that happens because criminal defense is so varied and so diverse that you got to start getting into all the different ways that somebody might be searching organically. And so once you start opening their eyes into the opportunities available organically, wow, that really kind of doubled. And so I think in his first 6 months, he ended up on average generating about $30,000 a month in new revenue beyond what he was doing through his paid search advertising strategies.
That's awesome. Just from like getting into like focusing on the organic side.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's a great story. So awesome insight. So a couple of just recaps, right? Your typical advice for criminal defense attorneys is, hey, like, let's make sure that we're spending money in advertising, but let's not forget about SEO and let's maybe put some money there. And that sounds like that varies based on the situation of the practice.
Yep.
Right. Number two, LSAs, really, really important ad unit, specifically on Google now. Like you mentioned, like LSAs are starting to show up more than the traditional pay-per-click ads. And man, reviews, really, really critical to making sure that you're getting the right visibility in the LSAs. So if you're going to spend money in LSAs, you got to have a process, use a technology like the Scorpion platform to actually help you get reviews from your clients.
That's right.
Awesome. Awesome. Another great Scorpion Insight. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with more Scorpion Insights soon. Until next time, have a great day.